Okay, so I want you to picture the absolute safest place you know. For most of us, that's going to be home, right?
Absolutely.
The doors are locked, the curtains are drawn, the whole world is just shut out. You've had a long day, your brain is finally switching off, and you're drifting into that deep, heavy sleep. You are completely secure.
And then comes the sound.
The sound. That one sound that just instantly shatters the whole sanctuary. A knock at the door. In the dead of night.
It's uh it's primal, isn't it? That specific fear. It's not just an annoyance, it's a violation. It breaks that boundary between the safe inside and the chaotic outside.
Exactly. And that is exactly where we're starting today.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Usually, we're unpacking corporate strategies or scientific
The
breakthroughs,
stuff for the boardroom.
right? But today, today we're looking at a different kind of survival strategy. We are digging into the archives of 404 Shivers.
A fantastic, if
Yeah.
slightly unsettling repository. To put it mildly, we're looking at a specific account. It's titled Doctor's Story. It's a first-hand account from rural India. And while on the surface, it reads like a classic, campfire ghost story. Once we started peeling back the layers, we realized there's a lot more going on here.
It's really a case study in psychology. It's about social contracts, professional duty, and how those very things can be, well, weaponized against us. It's
Oh.
less about the ghost and more about why the protagonist let the ghost in.
Weaponized duty.
Ah, I like that. I mean, I hate it, but it hooks me. So let's set the stage. We have our protagonist, Dr. Vishal. The source describes him as a dedicated guy. He's not just punching a clock.
Right, and the context here is everything. In a rural setting, especially in India, a doctor isn't just a service provider. They hold this specific, elevated place in the social hierarchy.
They're the lifeline.
Exactly. If you're the doctor, you don't really get to have off hours. Your
Yeah.
identity is tied to your utility to the community, which is a heavy burden to carry at, 2 in the morning? So the scene is set. Dr. Fischel is asleep. The clinic is closed. And then knock, knock. Now, before we get to who's at the door, I want to talk about the door itself.
Ah, yes.
The source mentions a very specific setup, a 2-layered door.
This is a crucial detail for the atmosphere. In many Indian households, especially in semi-urban or rural areas, you don't just have a single front door. You have a solid internal door, and then outside of that, a metal grill gate.
Like a cage door.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds intense, but it's practical. It allows for airflow in the heat, but historically, it's there for security against bandits. You can open the solid door and talk to someone, but there's still a steel barrier between you.
So it implies a baseline state of vigilance. You assume whoever's knocking might be a threat.
Exactly. So the doctor's grandmother, she answers the door. She's the one peering through this grill into the dark.
And I love her immediately. She is not having any of it.
She's the gatekeeper. Sociologically, in these multi-generational homes, the elders, often the grandmothers, are the protectors of the domestic sphere. She sees a stranger in the dark. He's frantic, he's speaking Tamil, and he's claiming his pregnant wife is in critical condition.
The ultimate emergency card. Pregnant wife? Critical?
Yeah.
But the grandmother, she just says, come back in the morning.
Her instinct is survival. Stranger in the dark, shut it down. Doesn't matter what the story is, but the stranger is persistent. He's pleading, and the commotion wakes up Dr. Vishal.
And here's where the conflict really starts. You've got the grandmother saying, stay inside, and the doctor's training just screaming, go help.
This is what you were talking about, the weaponized empathy. The stranger isn't trying to break the door down. He's trying to break the doctor's resolve. He is hacking Dr. Vishal's professional conditioning.
Yeah.
If you've taken the Hippocratic Oath and someone says dying wife, can you really go back to sleep?
Dr. Vishal obviously couldn't. He comes out, here's the story, and he packs his bag, his emergency kit. He unlocks that safety grill, the only thing keeping him safe, and steps out.
And just like that, he leaves the sanctuary. He overrides his grandmother's primal instinct in favor of his social duty. And honestly, that's usually a noble thing. That's what heroes do.
Unless it's a trap.
Exactly. Unless the damsel in distress is the bait.
So he steps out into the night, and the source really, really emphasizes the darkness. This isn't city dark where there's ambient light from the 7-Eleven down the block.
No, this is rural dark. It's a void. The text mentions there are no floodlights, no street lamps. Dr. Vishal is odd. He's effectively blinding himself. He can't even see the man he's following.
He could only hear footsteps.
Right? And see the vague shape of clothes moving ahead of him.
And the stranger's playing the part perfectly. He keeps apologizing. I'm so sorry, doctor. It's just a little further. Thank you for coming.
That constant apology is, well, it's a grooming tactic. It reinforces the power dynamic. It makes the doctor feel benevolent. I am the savior. This is just a desperate, humble man. It lulls him. It quiets that little voice in his head that's probably screaming, why are we walking into the abyss?
Well, that voice gets a lot louder in a second because they take a turn. The stranger leads him toward a graveyard.
The universal red flash.
I mean, come on. If I'm following a stranger at 2 a.m. and he hangs a left into a cemetery,
oh, I'm out.
I am turning around. I don't care who is sick. I am gone.
It seems obvious to us, sitting here, but Dr. Vishal is deemed deep. This is the sunk cost fallacy kicking in. He's already woken up, packed his bag, walked this far. Turning back now admits he made a huge mistake.
And he does hesitate. He stops and asks, why are we going through the graveyard?
And the stranger has a perfectly logical answer ready. My house is just behind the graveyard. This is the shortcut.
Which, to be fair, in a rural village layout is entirely possible.
It is, and that's why it works. It's the normalcy bias. Our brains are wired to normalize abnormal situations to avoid panic. So the doctor thinks, okay, a shortcut makes sense. I don't want to be the jerk who refuses to take a shortcut to save a dying woman.
He suppresses his instinct. He keeps walking. They enter the graveyard, and then they approach a lone lamppost.
A single circle of light in all that darkness.
And this is the moment. The doctor finally has enough light to see who he's been following. He looks up, expecting to see a worried husband, maybe crying.
And instead, reality just breaks.
He sees
nothing.
He sees the clothes, the shirt, the pants, but there's nobody inside them.
That specific detail gave me absolute chills. It's not a skeleton. It's not some monster with fangs. It's just volume without mass. Shirt collar with no neck. Cuffs with no hands.
It's the ultimate uncanny valley experience. His brain is trying to map a human onto those clothes, and the data is missing. It's a cognitive short circuit. He realizes he's been talking to, following, and trusting an emptiness. The sources, Dr. Vishal froze. He didn't scream. He didn't faint. He just froze. Now, be honest, I would have been screaming my head off.
And if you had screamed, you probably wouldn't have made it back to tell the story.
You think the freeze saved him?
Absolutely. Fight, flight, or freeze. But here, freeze bought him time to process the impossible. If he screams, he acknowledges the horror. He breaks the illusion. The entity knows that he knows.
He kept the dynamic intact.
For a few more precious seconds, yeah.
So he has to outsmart it. He realizes he can't outrun a ghost in a graveyard. He has to trick it. And this is where Dr. Vishal, I think, earns his stripes. He decides to lie.
But not just any lie. He anchors the lie in his professional duty. He tells the entity, oh no, I forgot a specific injection kit. I can't possibly treat your wife without it.
It's brilliant. He's saying, I want to help you, but I literally can't unless I go back. He's using the same duty card the entity used on him.
But listen to the entity's response. This is the creepiest part of the whole dialogue. The entity says, it isn't required. Just let it be.
Just let it be.
That implies the entity knows there's no patient. It knows the medical gear is irrelevant. It's almost impatient. It's saying, stop struggling. Just come with me.
Wow. It's trying to strip his agency. But Dr. Vishal doubles down. He says, no, I would leave a patient on the operating table for this tool. It is that important. And then he does something genius. He drops his medical bag on the ground.
The anchor drop. That bag is his livelihood. It's expensive equipment. By leaving it there, he's making a physical promise. He's saying, without words, I'm coming back for this. I'm not running away. It's collateral.
And it works. It buys him permission to turn around. And once his back is turned,
he runs.
The sprint of a lifetime.
Can you imagine that feeling, the sensation of being hunted? You can't look back because if you look back and see the clothes floating right behind you, you might just collapse.
You just have to run. He makes it back to the house, crashes through the grill gate, locks the inner door, and collapses. He tells his grandmother what happened.
And I bet she didn't even say, I told you so.
Oh,
the fear in his eyes would have been enough. They stay awake all night, vigilant, which is a very human reaction. You don't sleep when you know something is waiting outside for you.
But the sun comes up. Morning always comes. And this is where the story shifts gears in a way I did not expect. Usually, a ghost story ends here. He survived. The end.
Right.
But Dr. Vishal has to go to work.
This is the daylight horror. The trauma doesn't just vanish with the sunrise. He has to put on his lab coat. He has to open the clinic. He has to pretend he isn't losing his mind.
He's trying to normalize,
Yeah.
but he's shaken. And then a VIP walks in. The mayor of the town, the chancellor, as the source calls him. He's there for a routine checkup for his son, just a normal Tuesday.
Dr. Vishal sees an opportunity here. He needs to know if this was a freak event or something else. But he can't just say, "Hey, Mayor, I saw a ghost."
No, especially not in that cultural context. Being labeled mad would destroy his career.
Exactly. So he fishes.
He starts complaining about the infrastructure. He says, "Mayor, we really need streetlights. It's dangerous out there. Last night I was following a patient, and it was so dark I couldn't even see him."
It's a clever half-truth. He couldn't see him because there was nothing to see. He's testing the mayor's reaction.
And the mayor doesn't laugh. He doesn't brush it off. He gets quiet. He tells the doctor, "Come to my office after the clinic closes. We need a clearer assessment."
Now, if I'm the doctor, my anxiety's spiking all over again. Why the secrecy? Why after hours? Is the mayor in on it?
Dr. Vishal goes. He closes up early, another break in his routine, and goes to the mayor's office. He's scared, and he decides to just spill it. He tells the mayor everything. The invisible man, the graveyard, the escape. He makes himself completely vulnerable.
He's looking for a solution. He's looking for an authority figure to say, "Okay, we'll handle this."
And the mayor's response is to open a desk drawer and pull out 3 files.
Now, hold on. Let's look at Dr. Vishal's reaction first. The source says when he saw the files, he felt relief.
Yes. He thinks, "Oh, thank God. These are files of new doctors coming to town. The mayor is solving the workload crisis. I won't be so tired."
It's heartbreaking. He's so desperate for a logical, logistical solution that he hallucinates optimism. He thinks the problem is staffing.
But the mayor shatters that immediately. He slides the files across the desk and says, "These aren't new doctors."
These are the doctors who went missing.
That was the moment my stomach just dropped. The mayor explains that all 3 of the people in those files disappeared under the exact same circumstances.
A late-night knock, a frantic plea for help, a journey into the dark, and then silence.
This changes everything. This wasn't just a haunting. This was a serial killer, effectively. Just a supernatural one.
It confirms the theory of weaponized virtue. The entity isn't just attacking random people who wander past the graveyard. It is specifically targeting the healers. It knows that if it cries for help, a doctor will come.
It's hunting the community's impulse to do good.
That is incredibly cynical. It's like an anglerfish using a light in the deep ocean, but the light is moral duty.
Precisely. And Dr. Vishal is the only one who spit out the hook.
But let's talk about the mayor, because this is the part that makes me angry.
Me too.
The mayor had those files ready. They were in his desk.
It is the most disturbing detail of the entire account. It implies institutional knowledge. The leadership knows. They know there's a predator targeting doctors.
So why no warning? Why no curfew? Why no "do not open your door after 10 p.m. signs posted everywhere?
It raises a terrifying question about the cost of doing business in this town. Maybe they just accept that to have a doctor in this rural area, the price is that every few years, the dark takes one back.
That is bleak. It turns the horror from something supernatural into something bureaucratic. You're alone in the dark fighting for your life, and the people in the brightly lit offices know exactly what's happening to you, and they just file the paperwork when you're gone.
It seems the mayor showed him the files not to offer a solution, but just to validate him, to say, "You aren't crazy, you're just lucky."
But notice he doesn't say, "We caught it." He doesn't say it's over. The files are still open.
So Dr. Vishal goes back to work. The source says he remains scarred and hypervigilant. He continues to serve the town, but he's a changed man.
He has to be. He knows now that the security of his position is an illusion. Every knock at the door is a potential death sentence. Every shadow that looks a little too much like a person triggers that trauma.
But he stays. He doesn't pack up and leave.
And that brings us back to duty. Even knowing what's out there, he stays, which in a weird way is a victory. He refused to be consumed and he refuses to be chased away.
Though I guarantee you that grill gate stays locked.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't open that gate for the Pope after sundown.
Right. So pulling back to the big picture here, what do we take away from this? Aside from don't follow invisible men into graveyards, which feels like solid, if specific advice.
I think it's a lesson about situational awareness and the limits of politeness. We are programmed to be helpful. We're conditioned to be polite, especially to people who seem distressed. And predators, whether they're ghosts, stammers, or criminals, They rely on that programming.
It's okay to be rude if it keeps you safe.
It is vital to be rude if the situation feels wrong. Listen to your inner grandmother. Dr. Bashal survived because at the very last second, he prioritized his survival over the social contract. He broke the script.
And breaking the script saved his life. It's a powerful reminder. Trust your gut, not just your training.
Exactly. Verify reality before you step into the dark.
Before we wrap up, though, I have one final thought that is really bothering me.
What's that?
The mayor had 3 files.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Vishal would have been the 4th.
Yes,
But the entity failed this time. It didn't get its meal.
that's true.
So it's still hungry, right? It's not like he gave up and moved to the city. Who does it knock in on next?
That is a question I would prefer not to think about tonight. But logically, it's probably already knocking on someone else's door. The pattern suggests it doesn't stop until it feeds.
Well, on that terrifying note, thank you for listening to The Deep Dive. Check your locks, maybe install a peephole. And for the love of everything, if you see clothes with nobody inside them, run.
That's right.
We'll be back next time with something that hopefully helps you sleep a little better. See you then.